as I say, every single Monday morning. What's with all the cables and lights in the frame? It is, actually, I don't say that every Monday morning, but I do say it is a vibe. What is up, nerds? It's me, buddy pal, Hey Archer. Welcome back to Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. This is, I'm just gonna move my chair over a little bit. This is JB's fault. I am 9 minutes late today because of JB's toy trunk. I was watching his latest hunt video and I had to go out anyway. And I was like, I might as well go to Walmart. JB's finding cool stuff. I'm gonna go to Walmart. So JB is a bad influence. Don't watch JB. I'm kidding. Definitely watch, subscribe to JB. This is your weekly Monday morning show where we sit back, relax, enjoy a nice cup of brew. Ooh. Talk about the news. There's a lot. There is a lot to discuss this week from the toy world, but I'll pose a question to all of you as well in as the show proceeds. Also, by any chance, we have a YouTube channel, podcast, a blog, and OnlyFans newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be. Put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug yo shit. Let's see if my pedals actually work today. They don't. El Teible. I'm wondering if I unplugged them by mistake and I just didn't notice. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. It is good to see all of you. You guys are flying into the chat. That is wonderful to see. Let me see if I can get the Kick chat open once again. I know I had the problems with it before, but we'll open it up. We'll see. Nope. Last thing we got there was a bot. So there you go. Let me say hi to everybody in the chat first. I know I was not the first one in the chat. Let me check on my phone here. LeBron was the first one in the chat. So good morning, LeBron. Good morning, General Kenobi. Good to see you. LeBron. And there's JB. Good morning, peeps listening at work. There you go. T3 in the house. Good to see you. Yukon Phil in the house. Good to see you. Good episode last night. Definitely check out Yukon Phil every Sunday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. our time. Am I getting that right? With Phil, it is Yakking with Yukon Phil. LeBron said he was on time for once. There you go. And yet I was not. T3, yes, a cup of Sal's. You can pick up this lovely mug here, as well as things like some dope shirts over at nerdaffiliated.com. I've said this for the last couple weeks, but it's true. It is damn true. New merch is coming soon, so keep an eye out on that. Of course, you can also support the channel just by hitting subscribe down below, hitting a thumbs up, hitting a bell, hitting a share button. But you can also donate up above. We have our super chats as well as the channel memberships for just 99 cents a month. But if you are in the $1.99 a month tier, you actually get discounts on merch purchases on the website. So definitely take a look there and get yourself some cool Halloween stuff, because that's what's going to be coming out. Rolando in the house. See ya. Everybody saying hi to each other. Awesome. Call him Dr. Phil. I love that. No, Phil says, do not call me Dr. Phil. I love that. Raven, Pontiac Media in the house. Good to see you. Make sure you subscribe over there and at Consult a Blind Guy. T3 says, I need to tear up next payday. There you go. Yukon Phil says, T3 just lost any potential invites to Yakking with Yukon. I love that. Yeah. Oh, I know. I know. Awesome. How was your weekend, everybody? Hopefully you guys had a good one. Let me know if you made any cool purchases this weekend. Like I said, there is a lot. There's a lot of news, a lot of toy news. But before I go into that, I wanna ask you guys something. So, right now we're not talking movies at all. We're not talking really a lot of Hollywood stuff that has to do with any kind of like promotions and whatnot in honor of the strike that's happening. So mainly the channel for the last couple of months has been a lot of toy related news. We talk about if there's like any kind of like actor and actress news, again, not promoting anything. We have the Ghostbusters build series going on, which this week's video will be delayed. I apologize. I did not get a chance to work on it. It'll be delayed. And, other random things here and there. I also throw in a little stock market stuff in relation to toys from time to time. But I want to know if there's other things you guys are like interested in that you talk about a lot or that you consume media wise that you think I would like to talk about. So, for example, this past week, there's been a lot of scamming going on in the world of content creation, right? You have the reveal of a bunch of podcasters. Turns out they've been getting scammed this whole time. People like, what's Theo Von, Tony Hawk, and other dude, of course, Brendan Schaub. Some of you know him. Apparently, they've all been getting scammed by this other company, this larger media company. That's something I've been following a lot, but I don't really talk about here. I did when this channel first started, but I kind of shied away from that. So, if you guys also follow that kind of stuff, like podcasts, like drama and all that stuff, I can talk about that on the channel. Also, in the realm of like hip hop stuff, I follow a lot of stuff over there. So a big thing this week or last week, Diddy, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. Puffy, a.k.a. Sean Diddy Combs. He gave back publishing rights to a lot of his artists for music that he's been making money on this whole time. And he was getting a lot of like praise and stuff like that. But because he's also a scammer, he put a lot of things in the contract and a lot of stipulations for these people to get their content back. And it's also one of those scenarios where it's like, I drank this entire can of liquid death and I gave you the backwash and I'm telling you to be grateful for it. So a lot of things going on over there. Like I said, last week seemed like a very scammy week in content creation, but I didn't talk about it here. And I'm not sure if that's something you guys are interested in or you guys follow. So, definitely let me know. In relation to that, and then I'll go back up. Raven saying, didn't hear this until now. T3 says, definitely follow that stuff. Kind of goes hand in hand when we do podcasts. Yeah. So just to give you guys like the rest of you, some sort of like overview here. When you watch, other podcasts, like these very like well-polished podcasts, again, Theo Von, Joe Rogan, a bunch of other people, even though it's weird, Joe Rogan's not looped into this and I have a lot of questions there, but you watch a lot of these shows and you see that these podcasters are making like crazy money. Brendan Schaub, probably the most hated in the Joe Rogan sphere of podcasters. He's a former MMA fighter, turned podcaster, turned comedian, went from being beloved to absolutely hated. So you see a lot of these guys like rolling around in like a new Porsche every year, a new Ferrari, bigger and better sets. And as a consumer, you think, oh, they must be doing crazy like YouTube ad revenue. They must be doing crazy comedy sellouts, when they do shows on a regular basis. But it turns out that a lot of these podcasts, they get they make deals with larger companies, these larger podcast media companies. In their example, one called Podcast One, I believe, which now is under a different umbrella. I might have it backwards, but either way, these larger companies would say, "Hey, General Kenobi, your show's doing great. I'm going to do the hard work for you, and get companies to want to run ads on your podcast. And in doing so, I'm going to pay you a large amount of money, and then I'll get my money back on a lot of the ad stuff. And you'll also get some of that money." So that's how a lot of these podcasters can live like crazy lives, because they're getting so much money up front. But then it turns out the residual money coming in stopped flowing, or wasn't flowing as much. And the upfront money, they were getting like a portion of it, and then that fell off too. But they were all under the guise of, "Hey guys, work for yourselves. Hey guys, like, you could be like us. I don't know why you don't podcast like us, and like you could have like this cool car." But it turns out they were working for somebody else this whole time. So it's this large, it's super interesting to me. And I know some of you mentioned you kind of are interested in that stuff too. So I can make videos about that later on, but it's like finding out wrestling's not real. Like you kind of think it isn't, like you kind of suspect, you're not sure. And it turns out they're all fake, and they're all under one network, and they all promote each other. And that's the bottom line. So, as far as purchases, I saw T3 mention that he got his Batman 6-pack on Batman Day, which was very exciting. Something actually I wanted to mention as well. Let's see. I don't remember where I saw it. Go figure. DC didn't even promote it on their page, because why would you? Let's see here. So last week was Batman week, or Batman Day, the official day to celebrate all things Batman. And they also dropped a 4K release of Batman Mask of the Phantasm. So arguably the best Batman movie of all time, not just animated movie. So if you've not seen that for some reason, definitely watch it. Pick up the 4K release. Don't pick up the 4K release for $84 on Macari. It's not that serious, but you can get it on Amazon, Best Buy. Is it still in stock at Best Buy? Yeah, look at that. Steelbook with comic book for $32, where that guy's selling it for $84. Unbelievable. So definitely check out Mask of the Phantasm. Let me know if you guys picked up anything cool for Batman Day. Kenobi says, "We moved yesterday. Not fun. My room looks like an actual bunker right now." That's awesome. Yeah, Kenobi just moved. That new setup is great. I'm loving the new setup. And I hope your DTOFs survived. T3 says he hates moving. LeBron says, "I think Amazon is doing illegal substance." Is Amazon also doing something scammy? Comic books, maybe. Yep, Raven said he didn't hear it till now. T3, yeah, I talked about that. LeBron says Liquid Death tastes like TV static. And I love it. I love it. And definitely talk about that. All right, yeah, I can go into more of that stuff. T3 says apparently Blink-182 is dropping a new single today, or an album. Still not sure how true it is, but I'm here for it. All right, yeah. Are they back on tour? Because I know Travis had to jump off the tour because of some pregnancy issues with whichever Kardashian he's with. Kenobi says, "That sucks about the scamming. In other news, I'm helping this Nigerian prince by sending him some funds. He said it could be a real general. Definitely keep us updated and vlog that entire series. Patrick's in the house. Good to see you. Raven says, I got scammed last week by clicking funnels. Seem to be becoming a common theme lately. That sucks. Patrick, you did not miss much. LeBron says, that's really nice, Kenobi. Did they reach out to you? Did they reach out to you about your car's extended warranty? That's great. I love that. T3 says, oh, sweet general, you think I could be your security? There you go. I'm telling you, man, you guys can vlog this entire thing. You can vlog the entire thing. Rolando says, show me the money. I love that. We're going to have a whole army of nerds heading to Nigeria to serve under the General Kenobi army. That's all we ever wanted. That's all we ever wanted. T3 saying as a reminder LeBron said to hit that like button like Chuck Norris. And then T3 says, OGTGP isn't big, but I work hard on it and I got my own sponsorships. OGTGP. Overgrown Third Graders Podcast. There you go. Yeah, exactly. And yes, use his affiliate link to buy Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah, when it comes to the podcast, I've been watching a lot of creators talk about it. The one guy, he has an English accent. He wears glasses, crazy hair. I forget the name off the top of my head. I've been loving it. I've been loving his videos. And he's like, these guys are so lazy. Like, a lot of these comedians, like, people are definitely emailing, DMing, all that stuff about sponsorship deals. And they're like, no, I'd rather just have a larger media company manage that for me. But they're also pieces of shit because they're, person A, or let's say client number 1 gets that deal, notices they're not getting all their money from the jump, and still keeps telling other comedians to sign up. And then they tell the next person and the next person and the next person. Like, it's wild to me. It's absolutely wild to me. And think about it. Back in the day, like old school Joe Rogan, when the show was good, as I like to think, when he had like the Fleshlight sponsorship, for example, like that's like one sponsor. Like one sponsor paying you X amount of dollars. Like, these shows can definitely find one or two to pay them a decent amount and then just ad read and be like, hey, you know what? A little bit extra here is I'm not having your ad read with like 5-10 other companies. It's just yours. So pay me a higher amount. And don't try to drive like 50 Porsche cars a year. I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense other than like, you must be lazy. You must be lazy. Rolando says Chuck Norris doesn't hit the like button. The like button hits itself. Yeah. T3 says, yeah, they're in Europe playing shows. LeBron says Amazon sent my package to Florida from Atlanta. For clarification, I'm 45 minutes from there. Love that. Chrissy Rose, first time in the chat, I believe, saying, what's up, man? It is good to see you. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I kind of forgot that this was Nerdy Coffee and I'm supposed to be talking about nerd news. So I should probably like start the show. Like, that might be a good idea. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, no need to hit the button, but I'll hit the button anyway. Nerd news. Yeah. All right. So first of all, shout out to Sal. He was at Mid-Hudson Comic-Con or Mid-Hudson Valley Comic-Con or something like that in upstate New York. And he got a chance to hang out with the Hudson Valley Ghostbusters. So I love the fact that there's just Ghostbusters or Ghostbuster. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. There's Ghostbusters organizations around the country. And apparently the actual like Ghostbusters like franchise does not penalize you for it. They're like, yeah, go for it, but you can't profit on it. So a lot of these groups, they do charity work and donations and stuff, and can actually rock like the Ghostbusters logo modified to their liking. So I think that's pretty cool. I didn't know a lot about that, but seeing their booth, and they had a green screen where you can get a cool picture taken. Once again, the Ghostbusters community is quite the fun one. Quite the fun one. All right, so we'll start off with Super 7. Start off with Super 7. Now, Cats Lair has officially ended its crowdfund run, and it kind of wraps up the season, to me, whatever season number that is, of like the crazy crowdfunding adventures, right? Because at the same time that this was going, we also had the Sky Striker, we had the Ghost, and we had the Jurassic Park gate playset. So it was quite a wild run. There are more funds coming down the pipe. I'll talk about one of those. But like that pocket, that like 3 months was like pretty expensive if you were trying to keep up with the Jones and back everything. I don't know how you did it, but pretty expensive. But I think the real story with Cats Lair, by the way, spoiler alert, it did not reach the tier 2. So it did not hit 5,000. But the crazy thing with Cats Lair was the slowdown, the absolute slowdown in people backing it, which was surprising. So they had announced it, and on the 31st of July is when it actually backed. Like this picture I posted here was the 29th, I believe. It was at 2,410, but it ended up backing on the 31st. And from the 31st until, when was this? 2 days ago, 1 day ago, it only got an extra, 700 people. And then it ended up, from the day it backed, so back in July, from July 31st until September 17th, only gained another 971 backers. So, again, I will still give the applause. I did not think this would make it, but alas, it did. And a lot of you will see this coming out or arriving in your homes this time next year. But Super 7 said, we're not done yet. They posted this teaser yesterday. So apparently there's going to be another, I don't know if this is a fund. I don't want to come out here and say they're going for another crowdfund right away. But they have the Cobra mothership coming down the So Chrissy Rose, I'm guessing, is a bot. I love this. I love that they're programmed to like not hit you one after the other with their copy paste. They're spacing it out so you think you're talking to a person. You think you're talking to a person. So I'm not going to ban you because I'm still getting the view on Twitch. So thank you. KO in the house. Good to see you. Cutthroat Comics in the house. Good to see you. So I'm curious. I'm curious if this is going to be another crowdfund. How big is this? Is this Cobra mothership going to be scaled to the reaction figures or scaled to their ultimate figures? Like, are we talking another Cats Lair size here? And finally, I have no idea. I officially, if this is an Ultimates scaled Cobra mothership, which I don't think it is, but if it is, I have absolutely no concept of how toys are made, because I didn't think this would get made. I didn't think it financially made sense for either party. But if this gets made and this also gets made, then they've all got way more money out there than I can imagine. They're way more powerful than I could have ever dreamed. But as I mentioned 2 months ago, I need all of you to do me a favor, do me a solid, and keep mental note of every one of these YouTubers that backed the Lair, that backed the Sky Striker, that backed the Ghost, and ask them to show me the money. No, but show me where they are. Show me that they're on display in your room, in your collection, and not just sitting in a box or on Macari the day after they arrive. Rolando said it's probably for the 375. Yeah, I agree. Chrissy Rose still going with the messages there. Let me scroll back up, make sure I didn't miss anything. LeBron says the Super 7 glow green looks cool. Yeah, let's talk about that real quick as well. So Super 7, also a very Super 7 heavy episode. They also announced the next wave of the Power Rangers Ultimate line. And I thought the biggest deal would be the Bulk and Skull, because we're finally getting a Bulk and Skull figure. But people are really excited about the glowing Green Ranger. And I'm not mad at you, because you know what? Super 7 does a lot right. So I never want to come across as a Super 7 hater. I don't really hate any of these toy companies, but I will critique because it's my money being spent. Super 7 does glow in the dark very well. Like, they don't mess that up. So I think this is a great idea. Super 7 also does a really good brain fart just now. Super 7 does a good job of making figures based on like obscure moments in a franchise or rare moments. So one of them being, Green Ranger losing his powers, having like those power fluctuations. So embracing that to have a glowing figure, I think, is pretty cool. Complaints here. One, I think I like the idea when they're like, oh, buy the entire wave, get bonus things. But I don't think the bonuses are ever that good. So I think they could really improve on that. And lastly, the shipping times are usually pretty outrageous to me. Like, and that's for most of these companies. You announce a pre-order of something. You're only showing me digital renders. That thing, if I pre-order it, should be at my house within 6 months. It not being normal for that to happen is really annoying. Really annoying. I was surprised. The Peter Parker Smythe 2-pack, this was pre-ordered at the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con. It arrived last week. So to me, that's ideal. I think that should be the standard. The way that like pinless is becoming a standard. I think if something is a pre-order, there should be a 6-month turnaround. Unless you're asking me to fork up $700 for something that's outrageous. And yes, I know you're not going to just mass produce them and lose out money if nobody buys it. I get that concept. But basic figures, I think, should have a 6-month turnaround. I don't understand why they wouldn't. By the way, if you've not hit the thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. Catching up here. LeBron says, and Super 7 on Hasbro is strange. Yeah, they've been doing that partnership. I've noticed it. They did it a couple other times, not really that frequently, but these being on the Hasbro site and the Super 7 site, interesting. Also on Amazon. I like the fact that you have options for buying these, but being on a straight up competitor site, who's getting screwed here? Like who's like? I'll try to make this as simple of an example, even though I know it's very complex. If I am, well, nerd affiliated, right? You can buy this shirt at nerdaffiliated.com. Easy. Whatever profits and all that stuff, it comes to us. If I put my shirt on Amazon, for example, which I almost did, I still might, I don't know, but if I put it on Amazon, Amazon's going to take a cut of that profit. But they're still, buying it from me. For you to end up on Hasbro's site, I feel like they're going to want a pretty substantial cut. They're going to want something decent. If not, then maybe they help Super like I don't see the benefit to Super 7 here. Like maybe the benefit, actually, now that I think about it, maybe the benefit is, all right, we're going to buy X amount of these from you at wholesale. We sell them on the Hasbro site. We also will cut you a deal on the G.I. Joe license because we own it, so you can make whatever figures in the mothership and all that stuff. You just cut us a piece of the profits. I don't know. Like maybe that's the thing there, but otherwise it doesn't make sense to me. The figures being on Super 7 site and Amazon, kind of, but like being on your competitor's website that you're fighting market share for, kind of weird. Kraft says the Mercari reseller price is going to be historic for all those Haslabs and stuff. Yeah. LeBron says, did anybody see the Loyal Subjects Shredder? I did not. I don't think so. Cutthroat says, Super 7 also putting out a glow-in-the-dark Voltron. This freaking bot. LeBron says, it has me worried about the Lightning collection. Who was it? Kyle Peterson. He, in his Spider-Man video, he said that Hasbro might be putting Spider-Man Retro and X-Men animated series on ice. So, like, if we're getting that on ice, we're getting Lightning Collection on ice. We already had the Marvel. I keep saying retro. It's not really retro. The animated series, the Spider-Man animated series line, that on ice. X-Men animated series on ice. If you already have the Power Ranger Lightning Collection on ice, and the actual Marvel Retro 375s are on ice, I'm like, what is Hasbro going to be making at this point outside of G.I. Joe? Because Marvel Legends, I feel like, for the most part, is a clearance pickup line. Star Wars Black Series, I think, for the most part, is a clearance type of line. So outside of G.I. Joe and Transformers, I'm not sure what else Hasbro would be pushing. Let me jump over here real quick. Because you can see G.I. Joe still sells very well for Hasbro. If I go down their recent things, it's the only thing that really sells out. G.I. Joe, Transformers, but all the Marvel Legends stuff kind of just sits there. And then it will usually sell out during a warehouse sale or something like that. But look, see, Transformers sold out. Transformers sold out. Transformers sold out. Oh, wow, Sabine sold out. A vintage collection, $27. Y'all are crazy. Only reason I think people bought this figure is to go with the rest of the Rebels crew. Because the rest of the Rebels crew maybe sold out, or you want to go with your Ghost, but $27. Holy shit. That's a Black Series cost. Yeah. See, Marvel Legends just sitting there. Just sitting there. It's very, very interesting. I definitely want, I wish I could interview somebody from Hasbro or Super 7 just to ask like basic questions of what do we get wrong as consumers? Because the business sometimes doesn't make sense to us. So what are we getting wrong? T3 says he's excited about the Super 7 Mars attacks and that Iron Giant. Yeah. Iron Giant I'm excited for. The price was a lot higher than I thought, but I will buy it on sale at some point. LeBron says they scale the Five Nights at Freddy figures. My daughter collects them. There you go. All right. Kenobi says I figured the animated Spider-Man was going away. I did not. I thought it was I have a I have like I guess watch list or just a list on Hasbro of like things that are starred. So they ever come back in stock, I can buy them. And usually the Spider-Man stuff sells out pretty fast. So I don't know. But let's do our quick check of Giant-Man as well. Giant-Man also on the slow climb to getting funded. Oh, not even halfway there. Almost halfway there. It's been a week and 2 days maybe. They have not added anything new to the figure. Nothing new in the way of extras. But this is surprising. I thought people would get it just because it was $200. Not that it was the greatest figure decision, but I thought it was a nice, safe bet and an easy one to get if you just, want it on your shelf. However, with so many other crowd funds, so many other Haslabs, like, is this the moment? Like, people are truly getting tapped out where this $200 pickup is like not worth it? I don't know. LeBron says if Hasbro is putting all that on ice, I might have to collect Bluey figs. Oh, like Bluey the dog? Cutthroat says, I tell what company that drives me crazy is Jada with the Chester Cheetah pre-order figure. It was supposed to drop in September. Now I was told not until October or December. It's crazy. The one that pulled back the curtain for me when it comes to the pre-orders is Valaverse. Like, he did the show with my friend Billy Nichols on a bunch of nerds, and he was like, it's bullshit. He's like, these companies have way more money than I do. They have the money to front a run of all these figures. Just do a run. And if it sells out, it sells out. You start the pre-orders for the next run, and that's it. And you keep it moving. But they don't even want to do that. They don't even want to back an initial run. They wait until the pre-orders are closed or until they hit a certain amount. Then they do a run, and they keep the pre-order thing there. And then you start getting some of the figures. Exactly, the blue dog. It's funny. But, I mean, here's the thing. You guys know, if you've been watching, I debated buying this. I still kind of want to buy this just to set the precedent that more Haslabs should be affordable. But on Saturday, Sideshow Collectibles had a Big Lebowski on sale for $200. one of the 3 or 4 hot toys I want, Big Lebowski. And I was like, oh man, I can get a Big Lebowski with cloth goods, different accessories, display base for $200, like in 5 days. Or I can back this Giant-man for $200. And then the other thing, I've been looking at new camera lenses. And I think I've talked about this before. I'm not sure. Maybe it was offline. But I was like, oh man, I can spend $200 on this toy or spend $300 on a new lens. Tough. So that's kind of where I've been when it comes to buying some figures. Is I'm like, what else can I do with that money that's also part of this hobby still, that can also continue to have fun doing this with? You know, I buy Giant-man, I unbox him, I do a video on it, goes behind me somewhere, and we keep it moving. But that same $200, I can buy 4 box sets of figures, unbox them, do many, many photos with them. You know, it's tough. So I don't know. If I end up backing Giant-man, it's going to be a last minute decision. It's going to be one of those last minute, out of nowhere, I change my mind type of scenarios. T3 says, my focus is on the charity t-shirt. I'm still figuring out where I'm going to sell them on. I mean, you could sell, this is not a sponsored thing, but I use Squarespace. I'll send you a link. Actually, I think there's a link down below. If it's not down below, I'll send you one. Sign up. I think you get something off. But Squarespace is what I use. It's easy. Does the damn thing. All right. So the last thing, I think the biggest news in the nerd space last week was the epic return, not my words, other people's words, of the most electrifying man in sports entertainment, The Rock.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
You know what I smell? I smell bullshit. I smell bullshit. Here's why. So last week, the official new banner, the new overall company running the UFC and the WWE launched. The stock ticker TKO that houses WWE and the UFC. They've band together. They created TKO, or TKO created them. Endeavor created TKO, however you want to phrase it. Either way, the stock ticker running both companies has officially launched. And by coincidence, The Rock shows up on TV last week. We have also entered, or we're about to enter, another month of the actors and writers strike. Enter The Rock. So there's too many things happening on the side for me to think that The Rock is back because he actually wants to do this. Because he actually wants to wrestle, actually be a part of the Bloodline storyline. As you can see, Roman Reigns is there. It doesn't make sense to me. The Rock coming super casual fan wrestling verbal diarrhea. When the Bloodline story was going on, the story of Roman Reigns, the Usos, Paul Heyman, and Solo. When that storyline was like on fire, when people were loving it, that was a moment for The Rock to show up, for them to be like, hey, Roman has to take you out. Roman has to truly be the head of the table, the number one Samoan in the WWE. But that's not the case. That storyline dies off, Usos split, and now The Rock comes back? For what? For what? John Cena, also back. T3 says it. That's why John Cena's back. I absolutely hate the part-time celebrity wrestle thing. Because they come in, got to make sure you comb it back. You got to cover the bald spot, even though you can see it there. They come in, they get the marquee fights, the marquee matches, and they'll wrestle once a year, once every 5 years, something like that. It's just kind of annoying. Like, work on building a lot of these other stars so that they can become money makers. They could become the next John Cena, the next Rock. So even here, like John Cena going at Jimmy Uso and the Bloodline, you know, think about it this way. What would have happened if The Rock had come back prior, not even to wrestle, come back prior, and then he's around the Bloodline thing, they're doing whatever, and then John Cena comes out and he's like, you guys are real pieces of shit. I'm tired of what you're doing here. I got to take you out. And then you have The Rock versus John Cena. That would have been fun. That would have been cool. But this here, happening at this moment in time, happening last week with everything else happening, I'm like, you're just money grabbing. You're just money grabbing. And it bothers me that it doesn't bother anybody else. Because he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. But best believe he has some stock interest involved here. Good friends with Dana White. Came out back when they had the, what was it? The BMF belt. Like, he's involved in all that stuff. So it's all just money. And it might sound petty, but I feel like the fakeness of that, ironically, is what will continue to bother me. And the fakeness of The Rock will continue to bother me. Unless he proves otherwise. The Rock said he was supposed to take on Roman at WrestleMania last year. Yeah, and Triple H was in Blade, so LOL. Pretty sure The Rock tried to buy WWE. Yeah, probably. So Black Adam and Peacemaker are having a crossover? I'm so confused. Yes. But yet they won't do it on a movie. They won't do it in a movie. Come on. Come in, take all the attention, bounce off the mat 2 times, see you next year. Sounds like a great retirement plan. It is. Don't get me wrong. It is. Like, a lot of this comes from, I understand the hater in me coming out. I fully understand that. But it feels like it feels like I was your last pick. It feels like you wanted to go to prom. I asked you to go to prom. You said no. After 10 other people rejecting you the night before the prom, you're like, hey, you know what, Steve? You are the one to go to prom. That's what it feels like. That's what it looks like to me. And it just, I don't know, man. But you know I hate The Rock, so that's part of this. Unless he ever proves me different. Unless The Rock actually at some point does something where I'm like, wow, that was a genuine move, or you actually cared about the fan base more than your name. Until that happens, I will never be in on the rock. It's over. It's over, partner. Well, we're approaching an hour, so I think that's about time. I have a Rock plushie. I will be buying the Rock Ultimate figure, the one that comes with a tracksuit. I will be buying that. So there's that. The last two things I had on here, like I said, there was a lot of nerd news this week, so apologies for going over. Dragon Ball Super Battle of the Gods 10th anniversary has already arrived, which is crazy to think. So that will be in theaters October 17th and 18th if you want to see that movie. I highly recommend seeing Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super movies in theaters. It is a lot of fun. So that's going to be October 17th and 18th. And lastly, on the toy side, I wish I had saved it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I saw this somewhere and here it is. No, that's not it. Is it? I'll show it anyway. People were sharing this post of a G.I. Joe Sky Striker for sale over at Entertainment Earth. And I am for this. It says here, this item is not for sale. We don't expect any further shipments of the item and are keeping it on our website for informational purposes only. I am here for Haslabs being sold after the fact with way less things. If they go forward and release a His tank for less money with less things, I'll buy it. If they come out with their own Ghostbusters Proton Pack, less things, I'll buy it. So I hope that this becomes a thing where Hasbro's like, hey, you know what? We've already made the mold for whatever it is. Just like we do with the normal toys, let's do it for the Haslabs as well. Do some repaints, reissues of Haslabs, but to be respectful of those who did back us at the jump, we'll put in a little bit less into these. Maybe there's no lights, less accessories, less stickers. I don't know. But I think this is a great idea. If this is what they're going to be doing. If this does become a thing. Like, give me another Sentinel. Like, His tank, re-release, I'll buy it. Give me a Sentinel without all this stuff, no lights, buy it. I think Galactus might even sell. But definitely, I'd buy a Proton Pack. If they cut out some of the paint job, maybe you get rid of like some of the sounds. I don't know how you do it, but re-release it, take some stuff off of it. I'm good. I am good. And Patrick says, Just Incredible opened up the Razor Crest, and I've been meaning to watch that. He didn't open it on stream or on the video. He gets it, and in true Just Incredible fashion, and I hope he's on the show one day, he just rants and doesn't get to opening it. So there's that. All right. That was a long episode. But there was a lot, and I had fun talking about it all. And I hope you guys had fun being here as well. By the way, I never opened this Spider-Man and Carnage 2-pack. So if you're interested in me unboxing that, let me know. I'll do a video on it. Oh, and the reason I took it down, I thought the numbering on the Spider-Man box, the VHS boxes, was like going to be continuation. It's just literally VHS 1 and VHS 2 in both of these things. So that's very disappointing. And also, they're not consistent with the good guy and bad guy being cassette 1 or cassette 2. So, Hasbro, god damn it. Nerdy Coffee every Monday morning here on Nerd Affiliated, 9 a.m.-ish Eastern. Every Thursday, 8:15 p.m.-ish, we have Hey Archer Live. 2 different shows, 2 different vibes, but either way, you're stuck with this guy. Like, comment, subscribe. Ghostbusters video will be dropping this week, but a little bit later. And I'll talk to all you nerds. What's up, Eddie? In the next video. Peace. I'm out of here.